There is something that every video game has in common. Absolutely none of them are perfect. No matter how amazing a video game, or even anything else like a film or song is, there are always going to be things that you can pick out, even if they're the teeniest tiniest thing that hardly anyone would notice. These are known as nitpicks, and there are plenty throughout the Pokémon franchise. Now when I say nitpicks, I'm not just talking about small annoyances, or as I've put it before, first world problems, like having to go through Mount Moon and not having repels, or a Pokeball shaking 3 times and then the Pokemon breaks out. More so, really nitpicky things like how the hell have Ash and friends never been able to figure out Team Rocket while in their disguises, when they're literally the worst, most obvious disguises ever. So, here are 50 more nitpicks about the Pokemon franchise. And when I say nitpick, I really mean nitpick. Nitpick number 0. When you're about to watch a video about Pokemon, and then you're interrupted by a sponsor. This video is once again sponsored by Amino. Amino is one of the best places to take part in just about any community you can think of, and with Amino's newly introduced Stories feature, it allows users to upload short videos for people to like and interact with, which is great for content creators like myself to give you guys some extra content. In my newest story on Amino, I go over which Pokemon I would have on my Gala team if I were to choose from the Pokemon that have been announced so far. Then, when Sword and Shield eventually releases, I plan to follow up on that story, comparing it to the team that I end up going with. So, if you want to take part, a link to download Amino will be in the description and pinned comments of this video. You can search for my stories and profile, which is the same as my YouTube, so be sure to follow me and you'll be notified for any future stories that I publish. Just like YouTube, liking and following is always great support. So with all that said, let's get into the real nitpicks about Pokemon. When you send out a shiny Pokemon in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, why does it sparkle? Shouldn't it only sparkle when coming out of a Pokeball? When you encounter a wild shiny Pokemon, why does it sparkle? Shouldn't it only sparkle when coming out of a Pokeball? If Mew is the ancestor of all Pokemon, but Arceus created the Pokemon universe, who came first? What came first? The Torchic or the egg? If the trainer is going to flee from a wild Pokemon encounter, why are they bothering sending out a Pokemon for them just to return it? How do Pokemon centers make any money if all their services are free? Did the characters in the anime really wear the same clothes every single day? If Ash celebrated his 1-year anniversary of when he met Pikachu, how come he's still 10 years old?
This is the day we first met. The day we first became friends.
Home to this young man, 10-year-old Ash Ketchum.
How is it possible for 2 Pokemon to make an egg in literally minutes, and then it only takes a few more minutes for the egg to hatch? Why do I need a Pokemon to learn a specific move to cut down a small tree, when I have a Pokemon that can cut down the tree without the move, or even fly over it? When you do cut down a tree, and then go inside a building and come out again, how does it grow back straight away? Why can't I cut down any of the other trees? How is it possible for a Pokemon as small as a Pidgey to fly me around? Or even a Vullaby, because according to the Pokédex that thing shouldn't be able to fly. How is it possible for Pokemon like Pancham, Swirlix, Sentret, etc. to surf carrying a full-grown trainer? How is it that Meowth is still the only Pokemon that's learned how to talk? Not including legendaries and mythicals. Is Pichu really strong enough to pick up and throw all those boxes? How can a Pokeball catch food?
Huh? It's a donut!
If Spoink needs to keep bouncing to pump its heart, how are there Spoink that are still alive? How is it possible for Ash to casually hold a Pokemon that weighs over 2,200 pounds? That's almost as much as a car weighs. If Macargo's body temperature is around 18,000 degrees Fahrenheit, how is anyone still alive? When Team Rocket go blasting off again, how do they survive the fall every single time? How does Ash's Pikachu beat multiple legendaries, but then loses to a starter that's never battled before? Why does Mewtwo suddenly have a different voice in one of the movies?
This cannot be my destiny.
I guess I'm simply wasting my breath.
Is this a different Mewtwo? Is it the same Mewtwo, but they decided to change their voice? How does a Kangaskhan hatch from an egg with a baby already in its pouch? Why would Dawn pick Piplup as her starter when Chimchar is right there? How are Pokemon born with clothes and items? If rock, ground and fire type Pokemon are weak to water, then why does fresh water heal them? Why does a sugary drink heal a Pokemon better than a potion? which is specifically designed to heal a Pokemon. How is Ash still alive? Why are there so many houses without a toilet? Or even a shower or bath? Why can't I say yes to joining Team Rocket? How do Pokemon with no hands learn punching moves? Or Pokemon with no mouths learn biting moves? Or Pokemon with no tail learn tail moves? Why is the third game to Gold and Silver called Crystal, and the third game to Diamond and Pearl called Platinum? Shouldn't it be the other way around? Why is the White Legendary the mascot of Black version, and the Black Legendary the mascot of White version? But then the Black Legendary is the mascot on Black 2 version, and the White Legendary is the mascot on White 2 version. How is it possible for Lance to have a Dragonite that's level 50, when Dragonair doesn't evolve until level 55? How does Lance's Aerodactyl know Rock Slide, when Aerodactyl couldn't learn Rock Slide in Gen 2? Why is half of Lance's team not even Dragon type? Why is most of Flint's team in Diamond and Pearl not Fire type? Are these real animals? Or are they also Pokemon that we've never seen before, that for some reason aren't registered? And if they're regular animals, then what class is an animal and a Pokemon? If all these real places that the anime and dex entries exist in the Pokemon world, does this mean that the Pokemon world is set in the real world? If a Scavalier flies around at high speeds, then why is it one of the slowest Pokemon in the game? And why can't it learn Fly? How does the EXP share actually work? Like, you put it on one of your Pokemon, and it gains the experience of the Pokemon that just battled, or you put it on the Pokemon that's battling, and the experience passes over to all the other party members. How does that work? What happens if the trainer wears the EXP share? Will they grow stronger as well? When you send out a Diglett or Dugtrio, do they drill themselves into the ground, since they're always in the ground? Like, if you set it on top of a carpet, does that mean it'll make a hole in the carpet? What about a table? Will it make a hole in the table? Why can't Nidorina or Nidoqueen breed? Like, out of all the Pokemon couples, you think that Nidoking and Nidoqueen would be most likely to breed together. Why can't you throw a Pokeball and try to catch the sleeping Snorlax that blocks the path? Why'd you have to wake it up with a Pokeflute? And then when you battle it, and you put it back to sleep, how come it doesn't continue to sleep and eventually wakes up, even though you needed a Pokeflute to wake it up in the first place? Why do third versions of Pokemon games usually end up getting lower scores than the first versions? Like, they're basically the same game, but the newer version is better. So if it's better, then why does it score lower? Like, why did IGN give Ruby and Sapphire a 9.5, but for Emerald, which is objectively the superior game in pretty much every way, they give an 8? That doesn't make any sense. Where did the guide in Pewter City go? Like, the path is blocked. How did he get past it? Why do you need a giant machine to trade Pokemon? Like, what would happen if you just swapped Pokemon or Pokeballs and left? How does Oak always know when you're trying to ride a bike indoors? Like, is he monitoring you? And finally, why is the Pokemon slogan, "Gotta catch 'em all," when it's impossible to catch 'em all? Because you can't catch most baby Pokemon, you have to breed them instead. You can't catch most Mythicals as well because they're just given to you. Like, that's not catching. Breeding isn't catching. Being given to you isn't catching. Those are completely different things, what the fuck? And those were 50, or I guess 51 nitpicks about the Pokemon franchise. And if by any chance you found me to be reaching with any of these points at all, maybe found the video a bit too nitpicky, good! Please leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe for more videos in the future, and until next time, thanks so much for watching.